Look at this, man. I want to go walk and talk. But it's raining out here. It's all good though. You know what? Let me just pull up. And we still hold the vibe, you know what I'm saying? Don't matter about the rain. Let me go park, y'all. We're gonna get into it. John style. What up, y'all? What's up, everybody? How all is doing? You know, hope all is well. And if not, hope we can get back on track sooner than later. So get at that thing, you know? We're holding a vibe today for, you know, walk and talk, but I'm not gonna walk in the rain. I just sit in the car, you know what I'm saying? Just to get my point across. You know, I was thinking about this talk this week, this talk this week, right? Thinking about how the world is, right? What they give us in the globe. I don't know if you see my Pangea video, but tap into my Pangea videos in the first part, you know, when I was talking about how the earth was all one before it broke up into continents, you know? So now I'm just trying to say, I was thinking, right? I didn't realize how big the Americas is until I started holding the vibe on it. You know, because if you look at the continents, think about it, yo. You got Europe and Asia's one connected, all different countries, and Africa is still connected. So Europe, Asia, and Africa is all connected, right? And it's huge. And Africa is actually huge because growing up, I was led to believe that Africa is one of the matter of fact, the biggest country, because biggest continent, because it has so much different countries. But I'm not looking at the layout of the world and how the continents are set. But if you think about it, yo, the Americas is actually the hugest continent there is. Because remember, it's one landmass. In the middle, there's the Caribbean islands. From the top of Canada, they try to separate it, no, but that's North America, the top of Canada to the tip of Mexico, all the way down. And then there are all those different countries in South America. In Central America, with all those different states, you think those should have been countries? Because look at the history. What they say, 13 states in the East Coast, right? Those states band together. There should have been like 13 countries. But look like, they was like, you know what? Let's one up Europe, one up where they coming from. And we band together. And they can take over this whole continent. From north to south. I can imagine that's what they think, right? Manifest destiny when they start taking over the West and going down to Mexico and stuff. Manifest destiny, right? A little bit of history, man. We're holding the vibe out here. But I was just thinking, Canada, Central America, South America, all those lands, that's a lot. The Americas is a huge continent, man. You know? I was just thinking about that, and I want to have a conversation on that because the way we are taught, remember, I know history is a mystery to us because they're lying to us and they're inventing stories to match up to what's really going on. And the stories that they invented, that's what they're teaching us in these schools. I know back in ancient times, right, there the universities and the schools in Africa and stuff, at least what I've been hearing, you know, listen to the Bobby Hemmett tapes and stuff. But I don't know much about the natives and what they taught us about the natives because I don't think there were no school systems set up. Because even those tribes that's living in the Amazon, you think them kids wake up in the Amazon and go to school? You know, they live the way they live. You know, when the Rockefellers and all of them was creating the school system, they did it for a specific reason. Y'all need to research that and look into it. But look at our daily lives and how our daily lives are set up. Our daily lives are set up to continue the matrix, you know. Busy surviving and not knowing. Don't worry about it. Well, I choose to worry about it, so I'm holding the vibe on the situation here. But man, the continent of the Americas, man, is really huge. Much as to say that the islands in the Caribbean, because we go to South America now, the Caribbean islands, those are all different countries. The cultures, the peoples, you know, the lives, man. You know me, I'm a yardman, so I was born in Jamaica, you know. And what I'm learning, you know, what I'm learning in recent history, right? Because, you know, growing up in Jamaica, the teacher of the history and how the Arawak, the group of Indians that were on the island, and before all the colonizers started coming, the Europeans, the Britons, the Spaniards, French, all the different colonizers, right? The Arawaki Indians were living. So now, since I'm on my venture, you know, on my podcast, and I'm just seeking for information, I learned how the Arawaki Indians got there in the first place. And I think the Arawaki Indians were throughout the Caribbean islands, the different countries, you know, the different islands there. Now, I heard that they came from the mainland here. You know, the mainland, the North American mainland. That's from like Florida or some shit. And those are the Taíno Indians. The Taíno Indians. I'm gonna get some graphics. Cause Google, you know, man. But the Taíno Indians left the mainland here and went out throughout the Caribbean. You know, and that's where I'm from in Jamaica. They were the Taíno turned into the Arawak Indians. And then the history that they taught us in school, right? When the colonizers from Jamaica, some Jamaican history, right? When the history, but that's what I learned. When the colonizers came, Indians ran off and went to the woods and took off to themselves. They are the Maroons. You know, and my family is from a part of that Maroon situation because they mostly settled in St. Elizabeth. So my bloodline lies within the Maroon Town peoples, right? So I'm just trying to understand, because remember, I know the make-up history along with the real history. I wasn't able to go off too much, but I was just thinking about how big the Americas is, the continent of the Americas, man. You know? From the tip of Canada all the way down to the south, so much. And then in Canada, right, is a country, but it's two different languages, all those states or provinces they call them. The world, man, is something else, ain't it? And this whole America is just totally different from the rest of the world. Makes you wonder, man, but as we hold the vibe and we get deep into the situation, information will come up, because they say you ask the right questions, the answer's gonna come. And these are the information age we're in. These times, information comes, you know. And that's why I'm just holding the vibe on every situation, on everything, man. And as we move along, you know, AI is up. AI is doing their thing. Damn, AI done switched everything up, changed how the world is. Trying to start. But it's the vibration though, yo. It's the vibration, you know what I mean? It's a lot of land, yo. And you know what? I remember it was for the Bobby Hemmett, right? The Bobby Hemmett said, this is the great mixing bowl in the West. But that ties into the out of Africa theory that they always speak about. Because if you notice, what school teaches us is everything started in the East, right? East Africa. Ethiopia, Nubia, Egypt. When I was young, that's the history I learned coming up. Not necessarily from the school history, because school really stuck in the American history, and the natives and the colonizers, not so much the natives. It's like the whole thing is a psyop, because when you look into it and you try to understand and figure things out, I'm a yardman, so the Rasta roots play a big part. Bob Marley, and we come from the East. And then you learn a little bit about, they're trying to say how when life started in the East, people started traveling. They go up north. They cross the bridge to Alaska, right? The Bering Strait, something like that. But that's like an ice bridge, because summertime is hot. It's not cold, it's not frozen, but when it's frozen, that's when they crossed over into Canada. No, Alaska, Canada, down in Central America, and so forth. That's the history I learned. Even though I always realized that the Indians are the so-called black people. Right? That's what I realized. That's when I was teen. But I got into business surviving, having kids, and surviving. So I couldn't get to my studies until now, when Corona hit. It changed everything up. And I started really penetrating the black people that's here, the Native Americans here. They are the original people of this land. They've been here. Because I always knew that Columbus came and saw people here. Even though they're bigging up Columbus for discovering lands. But Columbus is just a thief then, because somebody lived here. He saw people surviving, doing their thing, living here. So how can he come and take it over and claim it? And then teach us in school for years. Because all my years through school, that's what we big it up. Now they changed it and everything. And we big it up, not knowing. Peep the psyop, man. When in actuality, the people were living, thriving. And that's why I really want to penetrate in the Americans, how big it is. I can't imagine how much people live there, But in order to control everything, right, you have to control the narrative. I cannot forget that quote. They said George Washington said, in 200 years after the colonizers took over, and George Washington was the man, he said in 200 years, the people of the land won't even know who they are. And how do you take over the world, take over people? By dismantling their lives, breaking everything down, totally controlling, and then build your way. And that's what happened here in the Americas, especially in Central America. All those states, people were living. All those states, the natives were living and handling their business. You know what I'm saying? It was broken up into this tribe over here, that tribe over here, that tribe over here. It's like New York tribe, Connecticut tribe, New Jersey tribe. You know what I'm saying? And when they conquered each tribe, they took over those lands and renamed them the states that they are now. But now, when you get down to the South Americas, if you notice, those are countries, and they're not together. Right? And those are individual countries, like how Europe and Asia and Africa is. So now that leads to tell me that the United States is running the whole world. The United States is that did everything, basically. Right? Because remember, these states, these what you call it? These states are together make one country and stuff. All these different states, the East Coast states. What Malcolm say? We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. So when people, they're living their lives, and the colonizers, Columbus, came over, they jumped in. And they maneuvered their way. I can imagine through business, through conniving, trickery, through paperwork, there's a lot to get into when you think about the history, man. It's not so much of a history because I'm realizing that there's real stories that's hidden, information that was trying to be destroyed, but some is saved. Information that's in the past that's trying to be hidden and covered up with the fake stories and the new stories. And there's people that's spelling it out here too in these YouTube streets, You gotta pay attention. There's a lot of people into this stuff, man. Because understanding is the key on the balance of this damn Matrix game. Man, Bernard had a full control over us for years. Information was locked for years. But they probably overdid it and played their hand too much, messing around, kinking with shit. But once you know. And then you gotta decide how you gonna move. Me, I'm just gonna hold the vibe because I'm like, wow, all this information is coming in. All the vibration that I'm thinking about is the dots, just connecting the dots together. So we're holding the vibe, y'all. Oh man, the Americas though is one huge continent. And I can imagine they say, if we get that whole continent from top to bottom, we can hold the whole world. And America is a superpower, right? You know what Santa said? I heard him say, Greco Egypt. So the Romans and the Egyptians came together. And it would look like what's going on over here, their democracies and their laws and their system, their governmental systems and everything. And come and change the way of lives, and change the whole situation to the way it is now and to build on it to the way it is now. But the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So whoever been here is here, whoever come around. But the truth matters and the information is the key. So, yeah, that's about it I have this week, Next week, if it's not raining, we do our walk. You know what I mean? I'll chop it up with some other stuff, but yeah, think about that, y'all. How big the continent of the Americas is, man. It's huge, and it's all connected. All the different countries, the different cultures. And you know what I say about that? AI created all those things to separate the mass. As if imagine the whole mass was together. I can imagine how the natives and the aboriginals were. They were all together. And even, what I'm saying? AI painting a picture of all crazy distinctness, wars and tribes against tribes, But I'm thinking that the tribes that helped out the colonials, they were manipulated, man. Because they thought these people were peaceful like them, you know what I'm saying? I'm starting to think whatever they teach us in history, flip it around. And on that note, y'all, I'm gonna catch y'all, next week another one. On that note, but do remember, stream CLP in all streaming services. You know what I mean? Tapping the whole vibe. Oh yeah, we're on Volume 25 on the genre series. Got some concept songs. So tap and hold the vibe on that. And if you're an artist, a content creator, someone looking for instrumentals for their videos, tap into beatstars.com/CLP profile. CLP got beats. You know what I mean? And use code SPRING for discount. Alright? So until then, I will catch you on the next vibration. CLP, we out.